Hello children, the other day we had finished the lesson about Albert Einstein. So how are you all? Today I'll be taking a new lesson from the text Moments, okay? Hope you all are in the pink of your health. So let me start with the lesson. We have only finished one lesson from this text, that is Miss had taken for you. Now this is the second lesson, The Adventures of Toto by Ruskin Bond. Okay. Now Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. Okay. Now he was born and brought up, and he lived, that is all his life in India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. Now he writes fiction for both children and adults and is popular with both. Now he has got many achievements to his grounds. That is, he received the Sahitya Academy Award, and he was also awarded, or he also received the Padma Shri and the Padma Bhushan. So one of the greatest short story writer, English writer, but born and brought up in India, and that is why he's considered as an Indian English writer. Okay. Now he is of the opinion that if you live close to nature, your spirit will not be easily broken. That is, you will learn patience. Now this is what is not seen in today's generation. None of us, you people don't have patience. You must not be even watching the video. If it is more than 10 minutes, you don't have the patience to sit and listen. So that patience can be imbibed within you if you live with nature, if you are a lover of nature. So Ruskin Bond spent his life in Dehradun, and he was so fond of nature that this can be seen in all his writings. So this lesson is a little bit different. Now, Adventures of Toto is about a small monkey. We all have pets at home, right? We all have pets at home. Now, some people like to have dogs at home as pets. Some have cats. Some have rabbits. Some have parrots. Different. That is animals and birds. But this lesson is about a small baby, that is a small monkey, a baby monkey, who was bought as a pet by the grandfather of the narrator. So let me come down to the lesson. Have you ever had a baby monkey as a pet? Toto is a baby monkey. Let's find out whether he's mischievous or docile. Whether he moves about or is a naughty monkey or a sleepy monkey. So let us come to know about it as we go through the lesson. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tongo driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tongo driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. So grandfather bought this monkey for 5 rupees, okay, because he saw that this monkey was owned by a Tongo driver who had tied it to a trough where the monkey was also given his food. So he felt that this monkey was out of place. And as it is, he was a lover of pets. He had many pets at home. So he thought that this one will be added to his zoo. So he paid 5 rupees and bought this pet home. Okay. Toto was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep-set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. Now this monkey had bright eyes, okay, sparkled with mischief. So when we see mischievous children, when you just notice that mischievous children, their eyes are very sparkling. Okay, this monkey was also very, very mischievous, and its eyes were sparkling. It had a very good set of teeth, which was pearl white, and when it smiled, the neighboring Anglo-Indian ladies got frightened, okay, were afraid of him. But his hands looked dried up, as they had been pickled in the sun for many years. But his hands were dried, all scratches and burns. That is, it had many cuts, and that is why it is written as pickled up, because it was tied in the open space. So it was bearing the heat of the sun. Yet his fingers were quite quick and wicked. So people who are very mischievous, children who are very mischievous, you can see the movements of their hands are very fast. And his tail, while adding to his good looks, also served as a third hand. So the tail also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping out any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hands. So the tail was like a hand for this monkey, or for all the monkeys, because things which are out of the reach of their hands, they use their tails to get it. Grandmother always fussed when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. No, grandmother was not a lover of pets. So whenever grandfather bought a new pet, there was always a quarrel between them. So grandfather had a good collection of birds and animals. So it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. So grandfather and the narrator thought that Toto's presence will be kept as a secret until grandmother was in a good mood, when they could reveal it to her. Grandfather and I put him in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, or so even we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. So there was a small closet that is where the narrator slept. At the entrance of that room, they thought of putting it inside that, and there was a small peg, that is, it was nailed, and they just tied him inside it and kept it. So it remained there as that was a little home for the monkey, and nobody in the house came to know about it. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. So wallpapers are usually used to cover. Instead of painting, we usually use wallpapers so that the walls appear beautiful. Now, after some time, when grandfather and the narrator came to see how this little monkey is, what they saw to their surprise was the whole ornamental wallpaper was in bits, and the wall was looking naked, that is, the plaster and the bricks could be seen by now. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. So what was hanged? His blazer was hanged in a peg, and everything was pulled down, and his school blazer was in shreds. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's presence. Now, the narrator was a bit scared. He thought, what grandmother will say? But grandfather was not worried. He was, on the contrary, happy to see that this little monkey was naughty. He's clever, said grandfather. Given time, I'm sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and made his escape from the window. So his grandfather just commented that if he had come a little bit late, then he would have tied your blazer into a rope and would have escaped from the window. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters, where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. So, I'm sorry. Now, grandfather shifted this monkey to a zoo. They had a little zoo where all the other animals lived very sociably together. That is, what animals they had over there. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while, my pet goat. So all these animals were there in the zoo. So they thought of tying this monkey, that is, nobody in the house till then had come to know that there was such a pet, such a pet was brought home by the grandfather. They put him in that zoo. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. But the monkey didn't allow any of his companions, the tortoise, nor the rabbits or squirrel, or nor the goat was allowed to sleep that night. It played pranks over there. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So grandfather thought, without grandfather's presence in the house, this monkey would create a big, way of, that is something rare he will do, and grandmother will come to know, and the whole thing will this monkey will make a big mess over there. So he thought that leaving this monkey over here is not fair, and he had to go also next day to collect his pension from Saharanpur. So he had to reach Dehradun station, from where he had to take a train to Saharanpur. So he thought of taking the monkey along with him. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip. The narrator is saying that I couldn't go along with grandfather to that trip that day. Now, after returning from the trip, grandfather tells him what had happened. But he told me about it afterwards. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. So during those days, there were no resin bags. It was all canvas bags. So it was a black canvas bag with a zip. So it was quite big enough. Straws were arranged at the bottom, and this monkey was made to sit inside, and it was locked with a zip. This with some straw at the bottom became his new abode. Now some straw was there at the bottom, and this black canvas bag became his new abode. That was his new house. Abode means house. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Now grandfather could carry the bag, and he had a peace of mind, because since the bag had a zip, there was no chance of he jumping out from the bag. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. His efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway station. But what happened? This monkey started rolling. Now he reached the station, the zip was there, but somehow he wanted to come out. So he tried he put in all his efforts, and since this monkey was very naughty, he just couldn't bite with his teeth. Otherwise he would have torn the bag. But the canvas was quite thick, so he couldn't tear the bag. And he started rolling and jumping inside. The bag went up and down also. So the crowd gathered over there were curious to know what was there inside the bag. But none of them asked him. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur. But while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Now, till they reached Sharanpur, he was okay. He didn't disturb grandfather. That is, he was playing his pranks, but nothing happened. Now, as soon as he reached Sharanpur, he had to get down from the train and out of the railway station. Now, there was a turnstile. Turnstile means a gate where only one person can get in or get out. It is in a circle, okay? And 4 iron bars are kept. So only one person can enter at a time. So while he produced the ticket, or he showed his ticket to the collector and was about to move out, this little monkey showed his head from the bag, and the ticket collector looked at the bag and started saying. The poor man was taken aback, but with great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you? You will have to pay for it accordingly. So you showed me your ticket, but where is the ticket for the dog? You have got a dog in your bag, so you will have to pay for it." In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector, and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. Then grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you charge for all animals?" Now, they charged 3 rupees for the monkey. Now, grandfather says, the ticket collector revealed, or the ticket collector said, that this man was having a dog with him. But the grandfather kept on arguing, this is not a dog, he does not come under the ratings of a dog. So you will have to spare. And he used to carry a small tortoise with him. So he took out a tortoise from his pocket and showed the ticket collector and asked, "What will you charge for this tortoise?" The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his forefingers, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look and said, "No charge, it is not a dog." So he just caressed the tortoise and said that, "Okay, I will not charge for this because it is not a dog." When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, okay, in this way, the lesson comes, that is, this monkey was accepted by grandmother at home. So I'll continue with this lesson in the next half, that is, in the next session. Till then, my dear children, go through this lesson. It is very, very interesting. It is very interesting and simple. This is a supplementary reader for you to improve your English. So read this lesson from page number 7 to 8 till where I have taken. Okay? And try to answer the short answers that I will be giving to you. Do continue with your prayers and take everything seriously. Don't pile up your work. Okay? Bye. Take care of yourself. Have a blissful day.